Planters Bank was founded in 1946 by farmers and business owners because they needed a community bank that knew them and understood their business. A lot has changed since then, but Merchants and Planters Bank is still employee-owned and operated, and we're still committed to knowing and understanding the needs of every customer we serve. Great rates, fast turnarounds, and experienced local bankers ready to work for you. That's why you should choose Merchants and Planters Bank. Stop at any of our 12 locations or contact us at mnpbank.com.
Are we live? Are we live? I think that makes us live.
Live. We are live, Hayden, we are live. We're definitely live. I think we're live. Are we live? Yes, we're live. Somebody tell me we're live. How's it going?
We're alive. We're alive in what? Hayden Schultz, David Black. Nobody. Who's on assignment elsewhere?
It'd be Ben Black, Josh Nation, and Anthony May.
I wonder what assignment are they on?
Partying.
You think that's it?
Yeah.
We have no cameraman. We have no technical director. We have no color commentator. We just have me and you. Does that mean we're the show?
I've always been the show, David. You're just
Am I just a tag along?
You're just here for the ride.
Sports Unleashed, Facebook Live, and I'm along for the ride.
There you go.
We have a fun-filled night of activity.
Okay.
We're going to talk some sports.
We can do it.
Greyhound basketball has ended. Talk a little bit about the basketball year, Hayden. Give us a little. Let's first of all start with the girls. The girls had a trying season at best, awfully young. But sometimes you just don't win as many as you'd like to win. But what do you think about the girls program now?
Well, you had a chance to, play Mountain View, and I thought we did a pretty good job against the Mountain View team that had beat us twice in the regular season. I don't remember the final. It's been so long, but Lady Hounds ended their season in the, second round of the district, won the play-in game, and had to play Mountain View, who was the 3 seed, I believe, coming out of our conference. And they were a good ball club. Mm-hmm. I mean, you looked at our conference, and you just looked at the top, Melbourne and Salem. Salem wins the state title. Melbourne actually got upset by the state runner-up.
Right.
In the first round of state.
At home.
Lamar beats them at home. Lamar lost their best player in the district tournament, I believe. So it very well could have easily been a Melbourne-Salem finals, just like it was in the district and the regional final. And then you talk about Tuckerman, who's got a good program over there. Didn't quite make state, got beat by Manila, who was the 1 seed out of their conference, who they beat in the regular season at the Kell tournament. We got to watch that game. Mm-hmm. And then Mountain View, I want to say they got to go. Well, they had to have. Yeah. They got to go to state and got beat the first round as a 3 seed, I believe, maybe a 4 seed out of the regionals. So, overall, I mean, you got a lot of sophomores. You got girls coming up, so you've got a chance to –
got some stuff to build on.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're that young, I mean, you lose Reagan Head, obviously going to be a big loss. A lot of the scoring, a lot of the rebounding for us, but that's the thing with high school basketball. They graduate, and you got to look for the next class.
Or at any level of, whether it's college basketball or the professional level, when people, retire or whatever, then you're looking for that next group, and no team usually remains the same, and this team will not either. So, but you've got a pretty good nucleus coming back, a lot of young girls that got plenty of playing time, and even a couple of girls that when they start next year will be starting their 3rd year of high school basketball, mm-hmm. and still very, very young, So a lot of talent there, and not sure exactly what we're going to do as far as a coach goes right now. Any word on that?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, I know there's some folks that applied for that job, but anyway, that's probably in the works to get us a new girls basketball coach. But the boys and Coach Ty Ferguson, I mean, just on a heck of a run, and you certainly can be proud of what the Greyhounds did from the boys' side also.
Yeah, made a state tournament berth, and I thought that was kind of the expectation for us this year going in. I thought that we were a team that could potentially win a conference championship, a regional championship, and win a game in state. I think that was kind of our goal. And Hounds, go to state, runner-up in the conference, runner-up in the district tournament, runner-up in the regional tournament, and then get beat the first round against CAC, a very good CAC team who was young as well. Won 17 of their last 18 when we played them at that point. Yeah. Had some freshmen move up. Lost their first 4 games. They moved up 3 or 4 freshmen and went on a little roll there. Well-coached CAC team. Their coach, I believe, is a Harding graduate. I think he's got his jersey in the Raptors at Rhodes Fieldhouse. So.
Oh, wow.
But, I mean, we had a good season. You can't say the same thing like you do about the girls about a lot coming back because you got a lot that are leaving.
Yeah, a lot of leaving. Yeah, matter of fact, nearly you got a couple of guys that will be back, a couple of young guys that will be back, though. But, boy, we lost a great group of senior athletes. Talk about that group.
Well, guys that just come off, the Brendan Curry and the Noah Curtis, guys come off the bench that got a lot of minutes as seniors. And then, obviously, Isaiah Kendall, I thought he had his best year that I've seen him play in basketball this year. Was tough down low, rebounding machine, got a lot of putbacks, dunks, very exciting. And then Kylan Cright, what else can you say about Kylan Cright? I saw him soar through the air a couple times.
Sensational.
He's unbelievable at the rim. I don't know. He's playing football at Arkansas Tech, but I'm not so sure that he couldn't play basketball at Arkansas Tech. He's a world-class athlete, him and Isaiah both. And then John the General Moore, that'll be, a tough loss, a guy who was kind of the commander. That's why we gave him the nickname the General.
Right.
A guy that kind of kept everything poised and ran the offense through Coach Ferguson. You could see Coach Ferguson always gave him a hard time, but he expected a lot out of John. John's a great kid. And then, obviously, John Moore, hitting those shots against Manila. The state champs. Beat the state champs, Dave.
Well, in a regional game where I watched the finals of the championship, they were talking about both teams being a 3 seed coming out of the regional. Anything can happen in a regional. And the Hounds trailing with 31 seconds to go by, I guess, 8? 8. Trailing by 8 and win a basketball game. I mean,
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And another great call, and I've always talked to you about great calls. To have a great call, you got to have a circumstance that warrants a great call, and then you have to have something good happen for your team, and then you get the opportunity to do that. And lots of times there are those opportunities, and you don't get a great call. But just a couple of great calls by you, both years to, we talk about KP's call in football, and those calls in basketball are as good a calls as you'll hear anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I miss John Moore. The guy made me famous for a little bit for back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Got to be on TV, not only our broadcast, but as far as Region 8,
sure,
Channel 4. So John Moore gave me the opportunity to be famous for a little bit.
You got to have an opportunity, and then you got to have a good result, and certainly John Moore made it happen for us. And I look back on our season, and the one thing that I talked about with Coach all year long, and I thought it was just incredible how we defended the basketball. We were incredible on the defensive end. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, and you saw later on in the year, we were a man press most of the year, early in the year, and a lot of teams couldn't handle it when we go play, especially in conference. Had some trouble, but you ran into some teams, a Mountain View, a Melbourne, who could handle the ball a little bit. And you had to, do something else besides a man. You saw we went to a 2-3 a couple times and did some different looks. But I thought that our man defense was as good as anybody I've seen in the state this year. Night in and night out. I mean, when you're playing 3-4 games back to back to back like that, and you got guys, and you only play 6 or 7.
Right.
And those guys are just getting after it. The guy gets in foul trouble, another guy steps in and just gives you valuable minutes. They get after it on the defensive end, which turned into a lot of our offensive production. We weren't necessarily a half-court set. We're going to run a motion. We're not going to – we did run an offense as far as in the front court, but our game was to get out in transition and throw some lobs and throw it off the glass and let guys slam it home. And that was kind of our, thing that we wanted to do. So overall, I thought it was a very good year for the Hounds. And I think Manila has to say that was the best thing that ever happened to them was get beat by Newport.
Well, I think it gave them a little momentum. Say we got to do things right, especially down this stretch.
Well, I think that even going into that game, you don't really have a chance. I mean, honestly, you know how good Manila is.
Yeah, you're not going to beat Manila.
They're going to run a 1-3-1, and good luck because they get after it. They're long. There's no spaces in the gaps, and the Hounds just battled, and then obviously John Moore just kind of does John Moore things and goes off the end, but. The fight in the kids as far as keeping that a game and not letting it get out of reach. But I remember saying it on the broadcast. We were never really in it.
Right.
But we were never really out
of it, yeah.
Well, it never got up past, 10 points, 8-point lead. But we never could cut it to 4 or 2 until, we hit the threes, and then John goes baseline, and it's good.
And you called it, said, here's what I would do right here. I'd go back to John Moore, and Coach did, and he made the shot. And
I think everybody in the gym knew John Moore was getting that basket.
Yeah, I think so, too. And, you talk about the great seniors that we had, the guys were going to miss. If you'd have told me at the start of the year that we're going to play a freshman point guard, and then we're going to have a sophomore that's probably going to be your best pure shooter and scorer, and then you're going to build it around these seniors. I'd have thought you might not, especially when you talk about Money Wren, not taking anything away from that kid, but you just go, I don't know how good that guy can be in a pressure-type atmosphere. But let me tell you what, he rose to the occasion, as did Pootie Denton did also. Those two young guys, you don't have those guys, you don't make a run.
No, I think Pootie was kind of our backbone all year.
Yeah.
I think Isaiah was probably had the best campaign for the year. I think overall he was the glue guy. If we needed something, we could go to him. But I thought as far as backbone, when we needed something to happen, maybe they're double teaming Isaiah to get a look here for Pootie. I thought Pootie did a really good job stepping into that role. And then Money Wren, he might go a game where he scores 4 or 5 points and, does the little things that don't really go noticed on the stat. And then you go play in a regional tournament, and in the first round he drops 20-something.
Yeah, he just goes off.
and I think that was kind of a tall tale of what we had this season is at any given night, whoever's got the hot hand, we're going to let them roll. And, there was nights Crite went off. There was nights that Brendan Curry went off. There was nights Noah Curtis came off the bench and couldn't miss a three.
Absolutely.
And we just kept feeding those guys. And I thought that was kind of what we were standing for as far as scoring points was whoever had the hot hand, we're going to let them roll and let them go get it. So it was a fun year. I was glad to be a part of it.
Well, we're going to change sports a little bit when we get into talking about girls softball and guys baseball, and that's underway at George Kell Park. And again, you look at our girls softball team, and a pretty good bunch, and it all starts in the circle. Talk a little bit about the Hounds, the girls team.
Yeah, and I didn't get to watch very much of the Melbourne game. I was watching the boys game for the most part. Did a little PA for them. I got to watch them against Bald Knob, and the game I watched, McKaylee struck out 16 or something like that. Very dominant in the circle. Anytime you got a pitcher like that, you got a chance to win. We've always said that in any sport. If you got that, you got that dog out there, then you've got a chance to win. Got some pieces behind her. Got some seniors: Emily Addington, Reagan Head, Mary Sanders. Some girls that piece in together. Samaria Friend. DH is for them. So, but you got some young ones. You got Sadie Gracie, Lexi Hembry that'll play, that'll come up. But for right now, it's kind of like the basketball with the girls' basketball. You got some young talent that are coming up, and you don't really want to get rid of these seniors just yet. You don't want to really and that's kind of the feel. This year might be a year you can go make a run. I think, the obvious goal would be to go to state. I think it's a lot like the boys basketball team as far as you got your pitching, you got your field, and, you've got some places to go make a run. I think that the goal would obviously be to make a state tournament run, kind of like the boys' goal I thought was. Girls got beat in the first round of regionals by a Hoxie team, and late in the game kind of let it slip through our hands. Didn't get to watch that game, got to see it on Game Changer, and thought that we should have went. Thought, it was one of those games where you knew that you should have went. So I think this year that's obviously the goal is to go to state and, win a couple games.
The baseball team, they've won some games, they've lost some games, but they're a young bunch also. I mean,
Very young.
Very young. Talk a little bit about those guys.
Well, you got Andre Rodriguez and Jacob Ozier, and I believe those are the only seniors.
Right.
And then Reese
CJ.
Kiefner is a junior. CJ's not playing baseball.
Okay, I did not know that.
Reese Kiefner is the only junior. I think the rest are sophomores.
Right.
I think there's like 7 or 8 in that class
Okay.
that are sophomores
Okay.
that are going to play. Got some freshmen, Luke Reynolds and DJ Grady. They're going to help. What's exciting about it is how, like I said, the sophomore class, you got a bunch of people, but you got a lot of 8th graders. I went and watched junior high baseball. You got a lot of 8th graders.
And they can play.
That are going to take spots.
Right.
Right. That some people are going to have to work, and to earn a spot that'll be upper class, as you'd say. So they'll be exciting to watch for years to come. I think got a good group. That, like I said, those sophomores, a lot of them played as freshmen. Got to get experience under your belt. High school baseball, that's the name of the game. Most of the time you don't go out there and go, "Oh, that kid's only a freshman." I mean, most of the time it's you juniors and seniors
Sure.
who've been around, seen pitches. So got to watch them play Melbourne and took that one off the chin. Melbourne's a quality team. But they go back at it tomorrow against Salem, boys and girls.
You talk about Melbourne and you talk about athletes. You go back to the football game, and then you watch the game, and then after the game you go, man, I didn't see what how can that bunch? I knew they were well coached, but you go, I just don't know how athletic they are. And then you watch them after they play their last game, and a week after we did in early in our basketball season, and then you see the athleticism of those guys and their perseverance on the willingness to do what it takes to win.
Gritty.
They're gritty. Yeah, I mean, they're good athletes. They're well coached, and they are coachable, and they're very gritty. And but we got a lot of kids like that on our baseball team as well. Those young guys.
Like you said, Dave, we're just young. We're going to win some games that we probably shouldn't win.
Right.
We're going to lose some games that we probably shouldn't. That's part of being a young group.
Let's talk a little bit about Razorback basketball. We're not going to be here long tonight. Razorbacks did get in. They've been kind of on a spell that they get leads and they can't hold them. A lot of that has to do with the opposition, the teams that you're playing. You say, well, Tennessee, we had Alabama down, or we had Tennessee down, and we had Texas A&M down, and those are all great basketball teams. But you can't win the NCAA championship until you get an invitation to go. I mean, you have to you earn your right to go if you win the SEC, or you have to be invited. And the Hogs do get an invitation. But overall, what did you think about the Hogs' year? Chances in the NCAA tournament. It's all about matchups there. But what about the Hogs?
Yeah, when you got that high of a recruiting class coming in, you got a lot of guys who want the ball. Obviously, when you lose Brazil early in the season, I think that really, really hurt us with our presence inside. I think Mitchell's, both of them have done a good job as far as inside. Nick Smith coming back really helps. He's a guy that will probably more than likely not have to come back next year. Anthony Black, I would say the same thing. Jordan Walsh, I think, is a guy that won't get the credit he deserves in the draft, and he might come back, and that would be big for the Razorbacks if he came back. But just got to hit big shots down in the stretch. Our defense, sometimes gets sloppy. You watch it sometimes, you're like, man, they just get after you. And then sometimes you give them some easy looks where you're just kind of out of position. So just got to hit the big shots. And I think Nick Smith will be a big part of hitting some of those shots in the NCAA tournament.
Well, I mean, he's a lottery pick, for sure. They say he's,
He'd be top 5. Probably.
Yeah, top 5 pick, and hadn't played a lot early in the year. I think early in you see talk on sports shows and social media about chemistry of a basketball team, and since Nick's been back, he's been the go-to guy, and I'm not a big fan of he messes up the chemistry because this guy can play. I mean, he can play, and he deserves to be on the court if he's healthy.
Oh, yeah, and like you said, with him being a lottery pick, all you can do is just have that guy come off the bench because the chemistry's not very good. Right. He can play at a high level. Just hadn't got to play, like you said, with his team very much. But, you get things rolling in March, and you never know.
That's exactly right.
That's the beauty of college basketball.
Well, we happen to have a bracket in front of us, and last year the winner of the bracket was whom?
I believe it was me.
Was it Hayden Schultz won the bracket? We're not going to go through the whole bracket. We are going to pick a Sweet 16. A landslide?
Yeah.
I don't know about all that. Here's what I want to know. You look at the bracket, and, of course, I think Arkansas is going to win the national championship for sure because they're from Arkansas, and you have to do some picks. But if you're looking at the left side of your bracket right there, who do you like? Give me a couple of wins and give me your Sweet 16. Who do you think?
Are we just going to go through them here?
Yeah, just go through the top part of the bracket there on the left.
I will like Alabama going to the second round.
Okay.
I don't see a 116 upset there.
Okay.
I like the Maryland Terps over West Virginia.
Okay.
I like some ACC basketball. This one's going to be a great one, I believe, and I'm going to take Charleston in an upset against San Diego State.
Okie doke.
I think Virginia gets it done against Furman. Never heard of there. Don't know where it's at. I will take North Carolina State over Creighton there. Baylor and UC Santa Barbara. Baylor's too much. Missouri and Utah State. This is one that I will take. SEC, Missouri. Arizona and Princeton, and I will take Arizona. How do you look compared to me?
Well, I'm exactly like you are, with the exception of, and I love Charleston. Love Charleston. I mean, if you're 31-3, and Charleston's had a couple of runs in there before. If you're 31-3 and you're a 12 seed, you got a chance to win. It's historically, and I know the matchups are always different, but historically the 12 seed always has a chance to win. But I like Charleston for sure. I think the only difference is I like Creighton, and I picked everybody else the same that you did. I like Creighton over NC State. Creighton is just a tremendous basketball school. Eddie Sutton coached at Creighton at one time before he came to Arkansas. Have a tremendous basketball history, but so does NC State. National champion. But I'll let you go ahead and go back to the top and give me your next four. Who would you have that's going to be a part of the Sweet 16 in that top half of the bracket?
Well, I would have Alabama beating Maryland.
Okay.
And I would have Charleston upsetting Virginia.
Okay.
I then would have North Carolina State and Baylor, and I will take me some of the Bears.
Okay.
And then with Missouri and Arizona, I would take Arizona.
Well, I tell you what I do have. I've got Alabama over there. I have Charleston again. I have Charleston and Alabama in the Sweet 16. Then I have Creighton, and then I have Mizzou. So we'll see what happens on that bracket right there. That's as far as we'll go in that part of the bracket. Alabama, Charleston, Creighton, Missouri for me. And who are yours?
I've got Alabama, Charleston, Baylor, Arizona.
Well, that's
so I've got the 1, 2, and 3 seed with the 12 seed.
I love the 12 seed. I'm not so sure that the guys might not win.
You got to pick the right one, though.
You got to pick the right one. All right, go to the bottom half of the bracket. Lead to Purdue, the number 1 seed out of the Big Ten.
I will take Purdue winning their matchup.
Okay.
I will take Memphis winning against Florida Atlantic.
Okay.
I think that will be a dandy of a game, though.
Okay.
I will take Duke over Oral Roberts.
Okay.
I will take Tennessee over Louisiana. I'll take Kentucky over Providence. I will take Kansas State over Montana State. I will take Michigan State over USC, and I'll take Marquette over Vermont. No upsets there.
Okay. I'm a Purdue guy. I like Florida Atlantic. I like Oral Roberts, another 12 seed over a 5 seed. I like that bunch. You know the big Vanover guy. Is it Vanover, the big 7'9" guy, 8'4" guy from Arkansas? Yep. He plays at Oral Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll just chunk it in there to him, and he'll just slam a few home.
Okay.
He's 8'9" or 12'6" and weighs 87 pounds. He's the skinniest human being I've ever seen, next to Manute Bol, who was 7'7".
Yeah.
But anyway, but I do like them. I like Tennessee. I like Kentucky. I do like Kansas State. I like Michigan State, and I like Marquette. Now, who you got for the next round? Who are you picking for your Sweet 16?
I've got Purdue playing Memphis, and give me Memphis.
Okay.
I've got Duke playing Tennessee, and give me the Dukies.
Okay.
I got Kentucky and Kansas State, and I've got Kansas State.
Okay.
I've got Michigan State versus Marquette, and I've got Marquette.
Well, not so fast. Not so fast, my friend. Mm-hmm. I have Purdue and Florida Atlantic, and I like Florida Atlantic again. Okay. I like them in the Sweet 16. Okay. Oral Roberts in Tennessee, I like Tennessee. Kentucky and Kansas State, I like Kansas State like you. Michigan State and Marquette, I like Michigan State. So give me your Final Four there in that group.
Memphis,
okay.
Duke, Kansas State, Marquette.
Well, we like Kansas State together, and we'll be different on the rest of them. But all right, let's go over to the first round. Houston, 31-3, and Houston really not getting a lot of respect around the nation right now. But who do you like? Houston, North. We don't have to go through the bottom games down there anyway. So who do you like?
I will take Houston.
Houston, okay. Iowa, Auburn.
Auburn.
Okay, I like. I'm with you. All right.
Miami.
Okay.
Indiana.
All right.
I've got Mississippi State beating Pitt, being that 11 seed, and beating Iowa State.
Okay.
I've got then Xavier.
Okay.
Texas A&M.
Okay.
And Texas.
Okay, that's probably pretty close to what I've got. I've got Houston and Auburn. I've got Miami and Indiana. I've got Mississippi State and Xavier and Texas A&M and Texas. Is that what you got?
Yes, sir.
Let me get the other part of my pen right here. Let me scoot over this way. So, are we exactly the same on that bracket?
I think so far.
And who do you like for the next round in that bracket?
I've got Houston.
Got them.
I've got Indiana.
Got them.
2 historic programs.
Oh, absolutely.
That'll be a matchup. Xavier.
Got them.
And I've got Texas.
Got A&M. Don't think they can get there, huh? Okay. Well, how about if I just put Texas there, and then if it's Texas A&M, I can just add A&M for later.
You very well could.
No, I'm going to go ahead and put A&M. That's all I'm putting, A&M. All right, down to the bottom bracket, the one that everybody knows who's coming out of the bottom half of this bracket right here. Kansas, Coach Self, been in a hospital, hadn't been there, don't know whether he's going to be there for the tournament or not, but had some heart issues, but I think they've got him all squared away, but he may have to take some rest. May have to take some breaks and not be able to attend the tournament, but who knows? We wish him the best. But there you go, top half of the bracket, my friend.
All right, Kansas, Howard, I'll take Kansas.
Okay.
Arkansas, Illinois, I'll take Arkansas.
Okay.
St. Mary's, VCU, I will take St. Mary's.
Okay.
UConn and Iona, I'll take Iona.
Okay.
TCU versus whoever they play, I got TCU. And then I've got Gonzaga over Grand Canyon.
Okay.
And Northwestern and Boise, I will take Boise.
Okay.
And then UCLA over whoever they play.
Okay. Well, here's what I've got. I've got Kansas. I've got Arkansas. I've got VCU over St. Mary's. I've got UConn. I've got Arizona State to beat Nevada in their play-in game, and then Arizona State to advance.
Okay.
And I have Gonzaga. I have Northwestern, and I have UCLA.
Okay.
Okay, who's your next 4?
I've got Arkansas beating Kansas. I've got
No, stop. Let me give you another chance.
I've got Arkansas beating Kansas.
Third, final chance.
Arkansas beating Kansas.
Okay.
I've got St. Mary's over Iona.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I have got Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got UCLA.
Well, we're pretty close. I have on the bottom half, I have UCLA advancing. I have Gonzaga advancing. I have VCU advancing. And I have Arkansas advancing over Kansas. And I really think they have a chance to beat Kansas.
Absolutely.
I think they have a chance. You got to beat Illinois first. But so we got a Sweet 16, Alabama, Charleston, Creighton, Missouri, Florida Atlantic, Tennessee, Kansas State, Michigan State for me, Houston, Indiana, Xavier, Texas A&M, Arkansas, TCU, Gonzaga, and UCLA. We don't have a lot of different, do we?
Not a whole lot.
Great minds think alike.
Some
Great
would
minds
say.
think alike. So I guess the last thing I want to talk about, and I just want to mention this, a lot of activity going on at ASUN with the announcement of a girls softball program coming and also a men's basketball team. You might have seen some of that on Facebook and talk about John Moore, his daddy, Dr. Johnny Moore, the chancellor out at our college here. And let's talk a little bit about Brad Phillips, who's the new athletic director of the do you say Aviators or Aviators? How do you
Aviators.
Aviators. I'm an Aviator guy, but that's okay. I will call them Aviators. And Logan Nutt, the basketball coach, men's basketball coach, a name that is synonymous in Arkansas sports history, Dickie Nutt's son. And then Kevin Pierce, Newport's own Kevin Pierce, has been named the first ever ladies softball coach for ASUN,
Yeah.
the Aviators. And what an opportunity for KP.
Yeah, and what opportunity for, people local
Yes.
that get a chance that might not have, been exposed as far as on the travel ball circuit to go to, some of these bigger schools and want to stay here, get an education, and also want to play a little ball. I mean, I would have loved,
Sure.
Because I knew, I was like, I ain't playing college nothing. I'm going to go out here and do my 2 years, and then we'll figure out what I'm going to do after that. But now, if I went out here and did my 2 years and they'd had, baseball.
Sure.
I'd have said, well, I guess I'll play a little bit.
Absolutely.
While I'm here, with it being just right down the road, I think it's very, very big for our community here in Jackson County. And hats off to Kevin Pierce. I know he's going to do a good job there. They're already working. I see girls committing and signing and doing that whole thing. So
And I want to mention Cable 15 TV's Josh Nation. Works at the college. Been that guy who's been around a lot of travel softball. Been that guy who's really, really knows the girls, helping KP get a little bit better knowledge of who can play and who they might need. But Josh has spent a lot of time on what you would call the recruiting circuit end of it, and does a marvelous job, because he knows not just these kids, but he knows the parents of these kids because of his association in travel softball, with Abby playing travel softball. So a big plus, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. I think it'll be very, very exciting. I don't know how much time that's going to take away from us. Here, obviously, it's taking away some because he's not here tonight. So.
That's exactly right. He's out recruiting. He's on a recruiting trail. Well, and he and KP both, and of course, Josh is our number one cameraman, has been, as good as we've ever had. When you get into, and KP with his duties as the voice of the Greyhounds on the KOKR, and you wonder, those guys going to have time enough to continue doing what they do? But I certainly hope both do, and that they'll have time to do that, because it's our general love. We're Greyhounds first, and we'll be, and we'll support the college. But they've got a big day coming up at the college on next Tuesday, March the 21st at 6:30 p.m. It's called Aviators Athletics Premiere, where you can meet the coaches. They're going to have a logo reveal. Got a lot of prizes going on. Should be something that, if you're interested, you can get a hold of Terry Ann Turner out at the college, out at ASU. You can call 512-7800 and ask for Terry Ann. Ask about tickets and ask about being a sponsor. But anyway, it's going to be a big, big day. I'm going to be gone. I can't make that particular event. I would love to be there, but it's college sports right here in Newport, Arkansas, Hayden, and it's pretty exciting. And I've said it for years. I thought Arkansas State University Newport, the ASU system, ought to have their own league. We're going to be in Division II in a junior college league. So it's going to be, even though we're a 4-year institution, we're going to play in a junior college, which is a 2-year program. And that happens. Grant played at one of those at Arkansas Baptist. It's a 4-year institution, but they played junior college baseball. They were in the Division II. Don't get confused on Division I, Division II, or Division III. That doesn't mean like when you talk about D1 for football, D1 for basketball, D2, D3. It's a little bit different in junior college. Everybody's pretty well the same. All of them are the same. So there's just so many of them, they have to classify them in certain areas, and it's more of an area thing than anything else. But pretty fun to think there's going to be college basketball and college softball, and then soon, at some time, there'll be college football in college baseball, among other sports. I mean, it's pretty exciting right here in Newport.
Yeah.
That it?
That's it.
That's it, the Aviators. Well, we've done about all we can do tonight. I promised Hayden we could get out of here real quickly. We've got a lot of things we got to do tonight. I've got some stuff that's coming up here. I want to remind everybody that Two Chicks Floor's birthday report is coming up. Also have a special customized a look back coming up also, and then a few other things to end out the program. But Hayden, it's always exciting to get to see you. We don't get to do this very often because we've been so busy with basketball. We did so many more games this year than what we normally do, and that was just by, I guess, not necessity, but when we had games on the road that we normally didn't cover a lot of road games, but the games meant a lot down the stretch. But good to see you, my friend. Again, Anthony May on assignment elsewhere. We don't know where he is. You said partying.
They're partying.
Josh Nation on assignment elsewhere. He may be recruiting. And Ben Black, I know what he's doing. He's playing catch with Max Black, and that's where you told him he needed to be, and I agreed with you. That's where he needed to be. So until next time, everybody, as always, go Hounds. We're going to take it a little early right here and maybe listen to Coach Hinsley, what Coach Hinsley has to say.
Round 3, you get to have early morning practice when a lot of the state is not. You get to come up here on Thanksgiving, and I hope it's foggy, I hope it's cold, and I hope we're just eating coffee and donuts, and I'm going to be here this year. I'm going to be here. How about them?
Well, it doesn't get any better than that, I guarantee you. A big victory for the Hounds. The Unity Health player of the game will be coming up here in a little bit. I don't know who they'll send over here. They could send any number of guys that Coach talked about. But a big victory for the Hounds in a Thanksgiving practice he called for this coming Thursday. We'll get the details to you and put it on Facebook, post it on Facebook. A senior-led team tonight. We'll see if we can get a Unity Health player of the game. I'd like to talk to Jadarius if I could talk to Jadarius. But just what an awesome, awesome night for the Newport Greyhounds. We're going to the next round. We're playing on the day after Thanksgiving. Hudson, go get me Jadarius Reed, and I'll talk to you and Jadarius. Go get me Jadarius. Go find him. He's number 8. Go find me or go ask your dad to send me number 8. We'll get Jadarius over here, and we appreciate everybody being patient with us. Hounds win this thing 28-17. And we'll try to go find him. Jamariel Ballantyne with a big ball game tonight. Boy, Delvin Braxton was just absolutely sensational. Offensive line was good tonight. 5 is always good. Kylan Crack. There's Eli Alcorn there. He played great tonight. The Godare boys were outstanding defensively. Just a great night to be a Newport Greyhound. All right, Hudson. Hudson, you stand right over there. Jadarius, you stand right here. We normally do this over at midfield, and I like to be on that Greyhound, but we'll do it right here. First of all, Hudson, how'd the ball game go for you tonight?
It went very good. Everything was like unbelievable. But we'll probably get a good team that's probably harder next time for our next game. Maybe we'll get a harder team. So next week, so you know what I'm saying.
Looking forward to it. We're probably going to play Prescott. We played them earlier, and then we've got a little momentum, a lot of revenge to think about. But I appreciate you joining by. Come join me when your dad comes over.
Maybe my dad will come over, but I don't see him in my site right now, so I have no idea where he is.
He'll be over here in a little bit, and you come back with him, okay? Jadarius Reed, absolutely sensational on both sides of the ball. Talk about this game and what it means for us to be playing the day after Thanksgiving.
Well, starting with this game, it'd be my last time on a Greyhound field as a senior, so I had to do what I had to do. And right before he came out, Coach Honley was talking to us about how back in 2016 the seniors stepped up. He was telling us, like, in playoff mode, seniors got to step up. And we got on the field, it hit me, and I was like, I got to do what I got to do and put out all I got in.
I don't know how many interceptions you had. I don't know how many tackles you had. I don't know how many yards you had, but you were great on both sides of the ball. I want to ask you this. You came off a couple of times, and tell us just a little stinger maybe?
Oh, yeah, I had a stinger in my arm. Then one time, soon I got on the ground, when I got tackled, everybody landed on me and the ball was on my stomach. So I couldn't breathe, just knocked the breath out of me.
Talk a little bit about the senior class. You mentioned those, and you're the guys that made it happen.
That's been my group since 4th grade, and we like a family, and we came this far, and we got to keep going as long as we can, keep fighting.
It was one of those games, really, that, and I don't know how it was down here on the field, but boy, it just seemed so strange. There was no flow to it whatsoever, but we just kept hounding and pounding and made it work 28-17.
Yes, sir.
I'm proud of you. We'll get to work this coming week. We'll have a good Thanksgiving. We go on the road, a very tough and formidable opponent. But you know what? There's a lot of fight in these Newport Greyhounds, my friend.
Yes, sir. It is.
That's Jadarius Reed. He's the Unity Health Player of the Game and an outstanding senior year as he ends up here at Greyhound Field. Jadarius, thank you.
You're welcome.
Coach Mark Hinesley, and we talked a little bit before we got on here, the Subway in the Walmart Supercenter, a ball game that the Hounds won, and that's the most important thing.
It is. And that's what I told the kids. I made challenges all week to them about, running the football, doing this, doing that, taking care of business. But the one thing I did ask them is there's a second round on the board that we could not get over the hump, and I thought our kids did a great job tonight and got us that round 3 that we so desperately needed, and it gets us another round at Prescott.
Coach, I heard you talk to the kids, and you talked about the senior class. You talked about those seniors making a difference, and they certainly came to play tonight.
They did. I was talking about wearing that S on your chest, meaning like a Superman, but they're seniors. And I told them before the game that if you think back about that 2016 year, right, that little run we had. Legends and heroes are made in the playoffs, and I challenge the seniors. This is their time. This is possibly their last game on the field, looking like it. So I asked them to step up, challenge to step up, and we did. I mean, you talk about what Taman did, what Jadarius did. I think I saw you talking to him. You think about what Brady Cook did, and I was just talking a while ago about Will Keedy. We thought somebody was going to be over Will Keedy all week. Well, they put their best dude over Will Keedy. Outweighed by 150 pounds, and Will did a tremendous job. Can't get in gritty as a kid as Will Keedy, and he took care of business.
Coach, it's one of those games in the booth. I mean, we're calling it from the booth, and it was just a strange game. It was just, they come in to get a field goal, and you watch a couple of series, and from an announcer standpoint, I go, well, it looks like we're in pretty good shape right here. We're going to get things rolling, and then all of a sudden we didn't roll. And I thought we had a touchdown one time down here in the end zone, and they took it away from us. We fumbled one, but it's just one of those times where you just at the end you go, we're past the second round, and congratulations.
Thank you. And you could look at it and you can make every excuse. You could talk about what did, what didn't happen, but a win, Dave. And that's all that matters. And man, I'm so happy for our kids.
Well, I heard you mention Thanksgiving practice, and I know you'll give us some details. We'll get that put on Facebook. But it has always been a great tradition if you're the coach, a fan, a player, to practice the day after, to practice on Thanksgiving and then play the day after Thanksgiving. That's huge, Coach. It's huge for our kids.
Well, last year we got to do it, but it was because AAA pushed back the playoffs, and I watched Coffee and Donuts from right over there and to get to be part of it. And you talk about a humbling experience, right? Just to be talking about every year how I want to be part of that and to not be part of that. So I'm going to enjoy myself this year. I'm going to have extra donut, and I'm going to drink an extra cup of coffee because we've earned this. I mean, we really have. After the year we've had, we've earned this chance. And once again, I'm just so happy for our kids. I'm happy for the seniors for what they did, and we just stepped up tonight.
Well, you go into the third season, as we always call it, and the Hounds are undefeated, and they're 2-0, and they'll be playing this Friday night, and a lot of folks won't.
And that's exactly right. And that's what, we always talk about all the time. Every game, half the state feels like they go home. And man, I love that we're still alive and surviving and getting to keep playing.
Coach, enjoy this. It's a great victory for our program. It's a great victory for you. It's a great victory for the town. It's a great victory for our kids, and that's always important. And the Hounds, again, 2-0, and we look forward to what's coming up this next week. But I look forward to the Thanksgiving Day and seeing everybody.
I do, too. Go Hounds.
Go, as always, go Hounds.
Two Chicks Florist and More birthday report. And as a reminder, you're talking about Two Chicks Florist and More. Well, that more means it's spring planting season. They have a great selection of trees that are down there right now. Need some beautiful maple trees. They have some of those. But check out all the inventory at the nursery that they have. Two Chicks Florist and More. All your gift headquarters for gifts for any occasions, including birthdays, anniversaries, whatever the case may be. Two Chicks Florist and More can take care of you, and especially with fresh flowers. Remember, Two Chicks Florist and More and the birthday report. Today's birthdays: on Monday the 13th, Danielle Addington has a birthday. Linnell Holland also with a birthday on the 13th. Stephanie Thomas, Marty Bain Brown has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Marty. Brent Thornton and Robin Reed all with birthdays today on the 13th. Tomorrow, March the 14th, Alexis Bradley has a birthday, as does Bill Sims. Kaylee Wilcox also with a birthday. James Clark, Rodney Welch, Janine Noonabaker with a birthday, and Linda Summons Humphreys also with a birthday on March the 14th. And then on Wednesday the 16th, Dorsey Block has a birthday. Happy birthday to Dorsey. Cletus Avery with a birthday. Demetria Nelson. Mike Justice has a birthday. Happy birthday, Mike. And Becca Samaniego McCormick, birthday on Wednesday the 15th. Thursday's birthdays include Cindy Lane, Gary Bennett, Kimberly Bateman Mears has a birthday. Kristen Page Kagan also with a birthday on March the 16th. Richard Stone and Greg Spurlock on Thursday, March the 16th. Friday's birthdays on the 17th, Stephen French, Brandy Morris, Sequoia Dean Scott with the birthday, Lynn Turner from Customized Vision Care with the birthday on Friday, Travis Dethridge, Holden Pill, Chelsea Russell, Randall Cason, John Metzger, and Sarah Beth Metzger, all with birthdays on Friday the 17th. And Aubrey Burns has a birthday on the 18th on Saturday, as does Heather Graham. Nicole Lawson Rounds with a birthday on Saturday the 18th. Celia Miller with a birthday on Saturday also. Lisa Legrone has a birthday, as does Deb Colley. And then on Sunday, on March the 19th, Dr. Kelly McKinney has a birthday. Myra Bice, Teresa Coe has a birthday, and Mike Thompson, all celebrating birthdays on Sunday, March the 19th. Happy birthday from all of us at Two Chicks Florist and More at Cable 15 TV, Facebook Live. We wish you a very happy birthday. If we missed your birthday, happy birthday to you as well. Two Chicks Florist and More with the birthday report for this week. greatest Newport Greyhounds. I want to kind of give you an update on where we are as far as the status goes on our page. Let me assure you that we are constantly working on a daily basis to upgrade the page, to get as much stuff posted onto the page that we possibly can, and kind of give you an idea of the enormity of the project. This project's not going to be something that we can finish in a couple of months or even a couple of years. We want it to be an ongoing project that will last for many, many years, where we can have a library as such, a museum as such, that houses, that host all of these great Greyhound moments that we're going to be, hosting all the great Greyhound players, all the people, the personnel, the coaches, the teams, so on and so forth. I do want people to understand this. We're just a little over a month into this deal, and we're going to get to everybody. We're going to get to everybody. We need your help to be patient, number one. I appreciate all the thoughts. I appreciate all the calls. I appreciate all the texts. I appreciate everything that you're doing for us, and I continue to ask you to do more for us. What I need you to do, if you have a great Greyhound moment or somebody that you think needs to be recognized, if you've got a good, clean picture or an article that we can post, send it to me on Messenger. If you want to text it to me, that's fine too. You can, but send me the message by text message. You want to do it on my Messenger page, you can do Messenger. You can send it to David Black. You can send it to the greatest Newport Greyhounds page. But we're excited about what we're doing. We're excited because we're able to recognize people, events, and look back at our great history. Now, to kind of give you an example of what we've got going on here, I'm going to have to go through 82 annuals, yearbooks, to find memories, to find players, to find events, to find things that maybe we have forgotten about. Our intention is not to forget about anybody. Our intention is to recognize everybody. There's a lot of great events that happened in my lifetime in the last 65, 66 years. But there was a lot of history way before I was even born that goes back to as early as an annual that I have, 1913. I actually posted a picture earlier of the Newport High School, which I don't even know what street that picture was taken on, but it was in the 1912-1913 annual, which was called the Oriole Annual. And then it later became, just a few years later, became in 1920 what was called the Black and Gold, and it was I think in the 1920 maybe the only annual that I have for the Black and Gold. But then again in 1940, I think maybe 40, 41, 42, I had some annuals there. And then it became the Lakeside. The Lakeside's had, I think, 82 editions. Be patient with us. Send us stuff if you would like. Share the post. More importantly, we need to get as many followers as we possibly can. Follow the page, like the page, share the page with your friends, ask them to come like the page. It's imperative that we get this message across to people across the world. We have already done that as such. There are people commenting from literally thousands of different places. And it's an exciting time to be a Newport Greyhound, and I want to be a part of something important. I want to be a part of something that's special, something that we can look back on for years to come and say, it's a pretty good idea, but the most important thing, we want to honor and recognize the great events, the players, the coaches, the teachers, the groups, the teams, and we need your help in doing so. So we'll keep you posted with some video messages along the way, but until next time, for Cable 15 TV and for the greatest Newport Greyhounds, David Black, so long for now. Take this opportunity to thank all of our sponsors on Cable 15 TV, Facebook Live, Sports Unleashed. And that list is long, and we certainly appreciate all of them, or we wouldn't be able to put these programs together. Included in that list is C&M Ag Depot at 2900 Highway 367 North. Farm supplies, hardware, clothing store, power tools, you name it. Before you shop out of town, come see us at C&M Ag Depot. Dia Scrap Metal, buying cars, iron, copper, can, brass, steel, stainless, electric motors. They buy everything and they pay in real money. Give them a call at 523-3858 for more information. Fletcher Land Survey. Before you build that fence, make sure you have accurate boundaries. If you don't, you might mess up and have to tear it down. Give Kenny a call at 523-56 Other sponsors include Fathead Pizza. That's one word and it's all caps. And it's the Hembry Brothers, Joey and Marcus. Great pizza, fresh, hot sandwiches, and the salad supreme that's second to none. You can call your order in at 870-201-1313. They'll have it ready to go. It'll be piping hot when you pick it up. Delta Trailer, been involved for 50 plus years right here in Newport, Arkansas. Dale Lee started this business many years ago in his backyard. And he built one trailer, and then one trailer went to two trailers, and then the third trailer, and then pretty soon it's a multi-trailer business, sending trailers all across the United States and Canada. These guys do it right, and let me tell you, there's no better family in Jackson County than the Eves family. And then also Temp Pro. Ask about financing on new upgrades. Sam and John Laster are the guys. Give them a call at 501-827-3213. White River Health. Caring beyond health care. Until next time, everybody, this is David Black from Cable 15 TV and Sports Unleashed. Thank you. See you next week.